Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. I would like to take this opportunity to greet you all in the name of our Creator, Yahweh, in Yeshua the Messiah's name. And I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the journey through the scriptures, where we'll be reading from the book of Genesis through the book of Revelation within 40 days, as Yahweh has permitted us to do so. We welcome you as we learn His word, as we hear His word. Remember, we are live on Facebook on Victor Skiru Timeline. We're also live on YouTube as the Messianic Davar Show. And we are also live on YouTube as Injili ya Milele ya Yashua Messiah. This is your host, Victor Kiiru. We're also live on Facebook on my timeline, Victor Kiiru's timeline. And feel free to tell us where you're watching us from. If you love this video, please make sure you like, comment, and tell us where you're watching us from. And if it's a blessing to you, please make sure you share it so that you can be able to share Yahweh's word to others. And lastly, if you are persuaded to continue watching these videos and others, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can keep engaging each other and grow as a family of Yahweh. Today we are reading the book of 2 Corinthians. This was the second letter that Rav Shaul or Apostle Paul wrote to the assembly of Yahweh in Corinth. Remember, he had written the first letter, and this is the second letter which he is sending by Titus, after hearing about the changes that have been in the assembly after the first letter. Let us now read the book of 2 Timothy. The book of 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 1. Paul, an apostle of Yeshua the Messiah by the will of Yahweh, and Timothy our brother, unto the assemblies of Yahweh, which is at Corinth, with all the saints which are in all Acacia. Grace be to you and peace from Yahweh our Father and from our Master Yeshua the Messiah. Blessed be Yahweh, even the Father of our Master Yeshua Messiah, the Father of mercies and the heir of all comfort, who comfort us in all our tribulation, we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of Elohim. For as the suffering of the Messiah abode and whether we be afflicted is for your consolation and salvation, which is effectual in the enduring of the same suffering, which we also suffer, or whether we be patient. And our of you is steadfast, knowing consolation, brethren of our trouble, which came to in Asia, that we were pressed out of measure above strength, in so much that we despaired even our life. But we had the sentence of death in ourselves, that we should not trust in ourselves, but in Yahweh, which raised the dead, who delivers us from so great a death, and both deliver in whom we trust, that he will yet deliver us. You also, helping together by prayer for us, that for the gift bestowed upon us by the means of many persons, thanks may be given by many on our behalf. For our rejoicing is this, the testimony of our conscience, that is in simplicity and righteous sincerity, not with fleshly wisdom, but by the grace of Elohim, we have had our conversation in the world, and more abundantly to you, to your word. For we write none other thing unto you than what you read or acknowledge, and I trust you shall acknowledge even to the end. As also you have acknowledged us in part, that we are your rejoicing, even as you also are ours in the days of our Master Yeshua. And in this confidence I was minded to come unto you before, that you might have a second benefit, and to pass by you into Macedonia, and to come again out of Macedonia unto you, and of you to be brought on my way towards Judea. When I therefore was thus minded, did I use lightness, or the things that I purpose to, do I purpose according to the flesh? That with me, and nay, nay. But of Elohim is true, our word towards you was not yea and nay, for the Son of Yahweh, Yahshua the Messiah, who was preached among you by us, even by me and Silvanus and Timotheus, was not yea and no, but in him was yes. For all the promises of Elohim in him are yes, and in him amen, unto the glory of Elohim by us. Now, he which established us with you in Messiah and hath anointed us is Elohim, who hath also sealed us and has given the earnest of the Spirit in our hearts. Moreover, I call Elohim for a record upon my soul, that to spare you I come not as yet unto Corinth, not for that we have dominion over your faith, but are helpers of your joy, for by faith you stand. 2 Corinthians chapter 2. But I determined this with myself, that I will not come again to you in heaviness, for if I make you sorry, who is he then that makes me glad by the same which is made sorry by me? And I wrote this the same unto you, lest when I come I should have sorrow from them, of whom I ought to rejoice, having confidence in you all, that my joy is the joy of you all. For out of much affliction and anguish of heart I wrote unto you with many tears, not that you should be grieved, but that you might know the love which I have more abundantly unto you. But if any have caused grief, he hath not grieved me, but in part, that I may not overcharge you all. Sufficient to such a man is this punishment, which was inflicted of many, so that contrawise you ought rather to forgive him and comfort him, lest perhaps such a one should be swallowed up with overmuch sorrow. Wherefore I beseech you that you will confirm your love towards him, for to this end also did I write, that I might know the proof of you, whether you be obedient in all things. To whom you forgive anything, I forgive also. For if I forgive anything to whom I forgave it, for your sake forgive I in the person of Messiah. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Furthermore, when I come to Troas to preach Messiah's good news, and a door was opened unto me of Yahweh, I had no rest in my spirit, because I found not Titus my brother, but taking my leave of them, I went thence into Macedonia. Now thanks be to Elohim, which always causes us to triumph in Messiah, and makes manifest the Savior of his knowledge by us in every place. For we are unto Elohim a sweet savour of Messiah in them that are saved, and in them that perish. That to the one we are Savior of death unto death, and to the other the Savior of life unto life. And who is sufficient for these things? For we are not as many which corrupt the word of Elohim, but as of sincerity. But as of Elohim, in the sight of Elohim, speak we in Messiah. 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Do we begin again to commend ourselves, or need we, as some other epistles of commendation to you, or letters of commendation from you? Yeah, you are our epistle, written in our hearts, known and read of all men. For as much as you are manifestly declared to be of the epistle of Messiah, ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living Elohim, not in tables of stones, but in fleshy tables of the heart. And such trust have we through the Messiah to Elohim, not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of Elohim, who hath made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. But if the ministration of death written and engraved in a stone was gracious, so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moshe, for the glory of his concordance, which glory was to be done away, how shall not the ministration of the Spirit be rather gracious? For if the ministration of the condemnation by glory, much more does the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory. For even that which was made glorious had no glory in this respect, by reason of the glory that excellent. For if that which is done away was glorious, much more than which remains is glorious. Saying then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech, and not as Moshe, which put a veil over his face, that the children of Israel could not steadily look to the end of that which is abolished. But their minds were blinded, for until this day remain the same veil, and taken away in the readiness of the Old Testament, which veil is then away, which veil is done away in Messiah. But even unto this day, when Moshe is read, the veil is upon their hearts. Nevertheless, when it shall turn to Yahweh, the veil shall be taken away. Now Yahweh is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of Yahweh is, there is liberty. But we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of Yahweh, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of Yahweh. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not, but we have renounced the hidden things of the dishonesty, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of Elohim deceitfully, but by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man conscience in the sight of Elohim. But if our good news be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the mighty one of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious good news of Messiah, who is the image of Elohim, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Messiah Yeshua the Master, and ourselves your servant for Yeshua's sake. For Elohim, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts, to give the light of knowledge of the glory of Elohim in the face of Yeshua Messiah. But we have this treasure in earthen vessel, that the excellency of the power may be of Elohim, and not of us. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body the dying of the Master Yeshua, that the life also of Yeshua might be made manifest in our body. For we which live are always delivered unto death, for Yeshua's sake, that the life also of Yeshua might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. So then, death work in us, but life in you. We having the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believed, and therefore have I spoken. We also believed, and therefore speak. Knowing that he which has raised up the Master Yeshua shall raise us up also by Yeshua, and shall present us with you. For all things are for your sake, that the abundant grace might, through the thanksgiving of many, reborn to the glory of Elohim. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, works for us a far more excellently, exceeding and eternal of glory, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of Elohim, and a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. For in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon with our house which is from heaven. If so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked. For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon that mortality might be swallowed up of life. Now, he that hath wrought us for the self-same thing is Elohim, who also has given unto us the earnest of the Spirit. Therefore, we are always confident, knowing that whereso we are at home in the body, we are absent from Yahweh. For we walk by faith and not by sight. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with Yahweh. Wherefore, we labor that whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Messiah, that everyone may receive the thing done in this body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad. Knowing therefore the terror of Yahweh, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto Elohim, and I trust also are made manifest in your conscience. For we commend not ourselves again unto you, but give you occasion to glory on our behalf, that you may have somewhat to answer them which glory in appearance and not in heart. For whether we be beside ourselves, it is to Elohim, or whether we be sober, it is for your cause. For the love of Messiah constrained us, because we thus judge that if one died for all, then were all dead. And that he died for all, that they which live should not henceforth live unto themselves, but unto him which died for them and rose again. Wherefore, henceforth, know we no man after the flesh, yea, though we have known Messiah after the flesh, yet now henceforth, all things are of Yahweh, who hath reconciled us to himself by Yeshua the Messiah, and hath given to us the ministry of reconciliation. To wit, that Yahweh was in Messiah, considering the world unto him, not imputing them as the word of that the ministry, but all things approving the ministers of Elohim in much patience, in affliction, in necessity, in distress, in stripes, in imprisonment, in tumult, in labor, in watching, in fasting, by pureness, by knowledge, by long-suffering, by kindness, by the Ruach Kodesh, by love unfeigned, by the word of truth, by the power of Elohim, by the armor of righteousness on the right hand and on the left, as deceivers and yet true, as unknown and yet well known, as dying and behold we live, as chastened and rich, as men having nothing prophetic all things. God is open unto you, is enlarged. You are not straitened in us, but you are straitened in your own bowels. In the same, I speak as unto my children, be you also enlarged. Be you not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteous with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? And what concord has Messiah with Belial? Or what part hath he that believe in infidel? And what agreement hath the temple of Elohim, the living Elohim, as Elohim hath said them, and be and will be a father unto you, and you shall be my sons and daughters, says Yahweh. 2 Corinthians chapter 7. From all flesh and holiness in the home, we have corrupted, we have defrauded. I speak you, for you and now to live with you. Of you, I am filled with what I am feeding without fasting, without him that confronts those that cast down, comforted by the coming of time, and not by this, and not by his coming only, but by the consolation wherewith he was comforted in. Whereas reason. Now I rejoice not that you are made sorry, but that you sorrowed to repentance, for you are made sorry according to Yahweh, that you might receive damage by us in nothing. For according to Yahweh, sorrow works repentance to salvation, not to be repented of, but the sorrow of the world works death. For behold, this self-same thing that you sorrowed according to Yahweh, what carefulness it wrought in you, yeah, what clearing of yourself, yeah, what indignation, yeah, what fear, yeah, what vehement desire, what zeal, yeah, what revenge. In all things you have approved yourself to be clear in this matter. Wherefore, though I wrote to you, I did it not for his cause that has done the wrong, nor for his cause that suffered wrong, but that our care for you in the sight of Elohim might appear unto you. Therefore, we were comforted in your comfort, yeah, and exceeding the more joy do we joy of us, because his spirit. For if that has things so in truth, even so our boost, which I made there before Titus, and his inward is not towards you, wills he members of you with fear you have or thing. 2 Corinthians chapter 8. Brethren, the great Macedonia, how that in a great of poverty abounded the riches of, For taken beyond their power, they were willing self, praying with much entreaty that we would reach and take a fellowship of the saints. And this they did not as we hoped, but first gave themselves to the Master and to by the will of Elohim. In so much Titus that as he finished the same grace. Therefore, as you abound in everything, in faith, in utterance, and knowledge, and all diligence, and in your love to us, see that you abound in this grace also. I speak not by commandment, but by account of the forwardness of others, and to prove the sincerity of your love. For you know the grace of our Master Yeshua the Messiah, that though he was rich, yet for our sake he became poor, that you through his poverty might be rich. And herein I give my advice, for this is expected for you, who have begun before, not only to do, but also to forward a year ago. Now therefore perform the doing of it, that as there was a readiness to it, so there was be a performance also out of that which you have. For if there be first a willing mind, it is accepted according to that man hath, and not according to that he hath not. For I mean not that other men be eased, and you be burdened, but by unequally, that now at time of your abundance may be supply of their want, that their abundance also may be a supply for your want, that they may be equally. As it is written, he that hath gathered much hath nothing over, and he that hath gathered little had no lack. But thanks be to Elohim, which hath put the same earnest care into the heart of writers for you. For indeed he accepted the exhortation, but being more forward of his own accord, he went unto you. And we have sent with him the brother, whose praise is in the good news throughout all the assemblies. And not that only, but who was also chosen of the assemblies to travel with us with this grace which is administered by us, to the glory of the same Master and declaration of your ready mind, avoiding this, that no man should blame us in this abundance which is administered by us, providing for honest things, not only in the sight of Yahweh, but also in the sight of men. And we have sent with them our brother, whom we have oftentimes proved diligent in many things, but now much more diligent upon the great confidence which I have in you. Whether any do inquire of Titus, he is my partner and fellow helper concerning you, our better messengers of the assemblies and the glory of Messiah. Therefore, show you to them and before the assemblies, and prove of your love and of our boasting on your behalf. 2 Corinthians chapter 9. For us touching the ministry, the ministering to the saint, it is superfluous for me to write to you, for I know the forwardness of mind, for which I boast of you to them of Macedonia, that Acacia was ready a year ago, and your zeal hath provoked very many. Yet have I sent the brethren, lest our boasting of you should be in vain, in this behalf, that, as I said, you may be ready. Lest happily, if they of Macedonia come with me and find you unprepared, we that we say not you should be ashamed in the same confident boasting. Therefore, I thought it necessary to exhort the brethren that they will go before unto you and make up before your bounty, where that is as a matter of bounty and not of covetousness. But this I say, he which sowed sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which sowed bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Every man according as he purpose in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for Elohim loved a cheerful giver. And Elohim is able to make all grace abound towards you, that you always having all sufficient in all things may abound to every good work. As it is written, he hath despaired abroad, he hath given to the poor, his righteous remains forever. Now he that ministers seed to the sower, both minister bread for your food, and multiply your seed sown, and increase the fruits of your righteousness, being rich in everything to all bountifulness, which comes through us, thanksgiving to Elohim. For the administration of this service not only supplies the want of the saint, but in abundance also by many thanksgiving unto Elohim. Whilst by the experiment of this ministration they glory Elohim, for your professed subjection unto the good news of Messiah, and for your liberal distribution unto them and unto all men. And by their prayer for you, which long after you, for the exceeding grace to Elohim in you. Thanks be unto Elohim for his unspeakable gift. 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Now I, Paul, myself beseech you by the meekness and the gentleness of Messiah, whose in the present am base among you, but being absent am bold toward you. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present, with that confidence wherewith I think to be bold against them, with things as if according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war against the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare are not, but casting down imagination and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge, and bringing into captivity every thought to the Messiah, and having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Do you look on things after the word appearance? Mantle that is of himself and Messiah. For though I should boast some of our which the master had given us for our edification, not seen by letters, wakeful, but his bodily appearance is weak and his speech contemptible. Let such an one think this, that such as we are in the world by letters, when we are absent, such will we be also indeed when we are present. For we dare not make ourselves of the number of compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they measure themselves by themselves, and comparing themselves amongst themselves are not wise. But we will not boast of things without our measure, but according to the measure of the rule which Elohim hath distributed unto us, a measure to reach even unto you. For we stretch not ourselves beyond our measure, as though we reach not unto you, for we are come as far as you also in preaching the good news of Messiah, not boasting of things without our measure, that is of other men's labor, but having hope when our faith is increased, that we shall be enlarged by you according to our rule abundantly, to preach the good news in the regions beyond you, and not to boast in another man's line of things made ready of our hands. But he that glorified, let him glory in Yahweh. For not he that commends himself is approved, but whom Yahweh commends. 2 Corinthians chapter 11. I desire that you could bear with me a little in my folly, and they did bear with me. For I am jealousy over you with righteous jealousy, for I have bestowed you to one husband, that I may present to you as a chastened virgin to Messiah. But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupt from the simplicity that is in Messiah. For if he that comes preach another Yeshua, whom we have not preached, or if you receive another spirit which you have not received, or another good news which you have not accepted, you might well bear with him. For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostle. But though I be rude in speech, ye are not in knowledge. But we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. Have I committed an offense in saying myself that you might be exalted, because I have preached to you the good news of Elohim freely? I robbed other assemblies, taking wages of them to do you service. And when I was present with you and I wanted, I was chargeable to no man. For that which was lacking to me, the brethren which came from Macedonia supplied. And in all things I have kept myself from being burdensome unto you, and so will I keep myself. As the truth of Messiah is in me, no man shall stop me of this boasting in the region of Acacia. Wherefore, because I love you not, Elohim knows. But what I do, I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion, that wherein the glory they may be found even as we. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Messiah. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into the angel of light. Therefore, it is not great things if his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. I say again, let no man think me a fool, if otherwise, yet as a fool receive me, that I may boast myself a little. That which I speak it not after Yahweh, but as it were foolishly in this confidence of boasting. Seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also. For you suffer fools gladly, seeing you yourself are wise. For you suffer if a man brings you into bondage, if a man devour you, if a man take of you, if a man exalt himself, if a man smite you on the face, I speak as concerning reproach, as though we had been weak, howbeit whereinsoever any bold. I speak foolishly, I am bold also. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. Are they ministers of Messiah? I speak as a fool. I am more in labor, more abundant in the stripes, above measure in prison, more frequent in death often. Of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. Thrice I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. Thrice I was suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep, in journeyings, often in pills of water, in pills of robbers, in pills by my own countrymen, in pills by the heathen, in pills in the city, in pills in the wilderness, in pills in the sea, in pills among false brethren, in weariness and painfulness, in watching, often in hunger and thrice and thirst, in fasting, often in cold and nakedness. Beside those things that are without, that which comes upon me daily, the care of all the assemblies. Who is weak, and I am not weak? Who is offended, and I burn not? If I must needs glory, I will glory of the things which concern my infirmities. The Elohim and Father of our Master Yeshua the Messiah, which is blessed forevermore, know that I lie not. In Damascus, the governor under Aretas the king kept the city of Damascus with a garrison Darius to apprehend me. And through a window in a basket, I was let down by the wall and escaped his hands. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. It is not exceedent for me, doubtless, to glory. I will come to visions and revelation of Yahweh. I knew a man in Messiah above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell, Elohim knows. Such a one caught up to the third heaven. And I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body, I cannot tell, Elohim knows. How that he was caught up into paradise, and heard unspeakable words, which it is not lawful for a man to utter. Of such a one will I glory, yet of myself I will not glory, but in my infirmities. For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool. For I will say the truth, but I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he sees me to be, or that he heareth of me. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelation, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan, to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought Yahweh thrice, that it may depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Messiah may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessity, in persecution, in distress for Messiah's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. I became a fool in glorifying you, have compelled me. For I have ought to have been commended of you. For in nothing am I behind the very chiefest apostle, though I be nothing. Truly, the sign of apostle were what among you in all patience, in signs and wonders and mighty deeds. For what is it wherewith you are inferior to other assemblies? Expect it be that I myself was not burdensome to you. Forgive me this wrong. Behold, the third time I am ready to come to you, and I will not be burdensome to you. For I seek not yours, but you. For the children ought not to lay up for the parents, but the parents for the children. And I will very gladly spend and be spent for you, though the more abundantly I love you, and less I love you, the less I be loved. For be it so, I did not burden you, nevertheless being crafty, I caught you with guile. Did I make a gain of you by any of them whom I have sent unto you? I desired Titus, and with him I sent a brother. Did Titus make a gain of you? Walked we not in the same spirit? Walk we not in the same steps? Again, think you that we excuse ourselves unto you? We speak before Elohim in Messiah, but we do all things dearly beloved, for you are edifying. For I fear lest when I come I shall not find you, such as I would not, and that I should be found unto you, such as you will not. Lest there be debates, envying, words, strifes, backbiting, whisperers, swearing, tumults, and lest when I come again, my Elohim will humble me among you, that I shall be well many which have sinned already, and have not repented of their uncleanness, and fornication, and lasciviousness, which they have committed. 2 Corinthians chapter 13. This is the third time I'm coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. I told you before and foretell you as if I were present the second time, and being absent now, I write to them which heretofore have seen, and to all other that if I come again, I will not spare. Since you seek approve of Messiah speaking in me, which to you word is not weak, but is mighty in you, for though he was impelled through weakness, yet he lived by the power of Elohim. For we also are weak in him, but we shall live with him by the power of Elohim towards you. Examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Prove your own self. Know you not your own self, how that Yahshua the Messiah is in you, except you be reprobates. But I trust that you shall know that we are not reprobates. Now I pray to Elohim that you do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that you should do that which is honest, though we be as reprobates. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. For we are glad when we are weak, you are strong, and this also we wish even your perfection. Therefore I write these things, being absent, lest any being present I should use sharpness according to the power which the Master has given me to edification and not to destruction. Finally, brethren, farewell. Be perfect, be of good comfort, be of one mind, live in peace, and the Elohim of love and peace shall be with you. Greet one another with a holy kiss. All saints salute you. The grace of our Master Yahshua the Messiah, and the love of Yahweh, and the communion of the Holy